What's going on, guys? This is the Experienced Optimist. And today I want to talk about the bad habits that single mothers pass on to their sons. Number one, single mothers pass on being overly emotional. Whether the mother has BPD or a slew of other emotional problems, they often pass these emotional disturbances onto their sons. What you get are men that cannot emotionally regulate. These men can be calm as a mouse at one moment and want to stab you in the face with a rusty screwdriver the next. So what you are left with are a slew of men that have a ton of potential but have no way of actually using it constructively. Number two, they pass on the habit of never taking responsibility for anything. As we all know, women have 1,000,001 excuses for the problems and issues in their lives. They will tell you that they cannot pay their credit card debt because of some cosmological sign. Anything to defer the attention away from themselves. Their sons pick up this habit, and before you know it, they have an excuse for why their homework is not done, why they cannot make it to work on time, and why they were late to appointments again and again. You see, women make excuses because there is always some simp that will come to the rescue. Unfortunately for men, we have to make our own way. No one is going to save us. Which is why most men who cannot take responsibility for their actions eventually fail in life. Number three, the propensity to sabotage the progress of others. Many women enjoy watching people suffer. In this regard, they will sabotage the progress of their own children. For example, a single mother will tell her child that they need to study hard to improve their grades, knowing that to adequately study harder, she will have to take her child to the library every day to do so. She will then refuse to take the child, and if the child saves up enough money to take the bus to the library, she will take the money by making up some imaginary punishment. The end result is a child is never able to study properly, and his grades will continue to fail. The mother will then berate the child until he falls into a self-destructive pattern, of which she is happy to see. The son turns around and does the same to his children. Number four, single mothers know how to play people against one another. Single mothers love to play siblings against other siblings. She will say things like, "Why can you not be more like your brother?" Or, "Your brother will always be a better athlete than you." They get off on seeing their children fight for her attention and approval. Even though the son may hate it, he starts to, let me see, because this happened a lot in my family. Even though the son may hate it, he subconsciously starts to act out the same way with his kids. And it's sad to see. But number five, single mothers have self-destructive tendencies. Many single mothers and women in general are self-destructive. Again, this is due to there always being a simp available and a white knight to help her out of whatever hole she has gotten herself into. This is why you see educated women with everything going for themselves make the dumbest decisions during dating, make the dumbest financial decisions, and make the dumbest decisions in personal relationships. These same destructive patterns she will pass on to her sons. These are the type of men that will have the world by the balls and will always figure out a way to fuck it up. I remember my uncle. My uncle overseas was like this. This guy, I believe he went to college. He was a politician. And he had everything going for himself. He was a young guy. He was good looking. And he ended up doing something to where he was trying to, steal cars or something like that, using the government dime. And he got caught. And the last they saw him, he was mumbling to himself in the streets. He had gone crazy or something. But those self-destructive tendencies, man. All right, number 6 I noticed about single mothers. Laziness. Most single mothers are just plain lazy. They're looking for Mr. Right to come along and save them. As a result, they have sons who are lazy. And the funny thing about it is that their sons are looking for Mr. Right to come along and save them. Unfortunately for him, there is no Mr. Right. As a result, these men meander through life, not knowing what it is they want to do, and have a tendency to achieve nothing. The next thing I noticed about single mothers is they're constantly seeking validation. Women are constantly seeking validation to their own detriment. They will do the most heinous acts to fit in and not be judged by others. When they pass on the seeking validation virus to their sons will lose themselves trying to gain affection from women and from other people around them. This generally allows themselves to be mistreated by others and base their contentment on what others think about them. This type of man, as we all know, can never be free. But then some people say, but experienced optimist, there must be a way to counteract these negative traits. Now, yes, there is a way, but it's not easy. The first thing you have to do, and this is hard for a lot of men, is that you must accept and realize that your mother does not mean you well. This is indeed the hardest step, but this step is necessary or you'll be kissing her ass for the rest of your life. I remember I heard some good advice that said that sometimes your family members are toxic friends. You have to make peace with your mother if she's a toxic friend and distance yourself the best you can. Basically, you have to take what she says with a grain of salt and always be careful to monitor how influential she becomes over you. If you sense yourself adopting the bad behaviors, immediately write down what you plan to do to counteract or overcome these actions. Keep these notes with you and study them often. The second thing you can do is watch Eric Thomas' Thank God It's Friday series on YouTube. If you guys don't know who Eric Thomas is a YouTube, he's basically a motivational speaker, but a lot of the things he tells you about life works. Everything Eric tells you basically is what a good father would tell his son on how to be successful. If you apply the principles of goal setting, creating standards, and a ton of other virtuous actions that this guy talks about, you will succeed regardless of your circumstances. And then the third thing I think a lot of guys need to do is to take up some sports that you enjoy so that you can be around masculine energy. You need to find focus and engage in something that drives you. In this state, it seems like men need to do anything to reverse the emasculation that's going on. This emasculation movement seems to be trying to turn men into sissified punks. So if you can find a sport to where you can be around manly men and you can really work on self-improvement, that's one of the best things you can do to counteract the sabotage of a single mother. And also understand that a lot of times a single mother will try to put you in sports so that later on, if you do make it to the soccer Premier League or NFL or the hockey league or the professional basketball league, that she can leech off you when that happens. But anyway, write in the comment section other ways you have noticed how single mothers sabotage their kids. I'm interested in knowing what you guys think. But if you like this video, give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, support other MGTOWN channels, and I'll talk to you later. What's going on, guys?